name is Tom Wood. I was born in the west of Ireland, but I've lived most of my life near Liverpool, and I photographed mainly in Liverpool and New Brighton for 25 years. This exhibition coincides with a book called Photoman. Photoman is what the local kids would call me, because I was always out on the street with my camera. They'd say, "Over here, Photoman, take our picture," or "Take a picture of this," or "Take a picture of him." So I would take the picture, and then later I would give them the print, and I would see them next week or next year, and I photographed them without asking them, and they didn't mind. So that's why the exhibition is called Photoman. When I left college, film just seemed very expensive and photography seemed easy to do, and I thought I'd do photography for a couple of years. Because I thought it was easy, because it's easy, you know. There's a picture here of two girls holding Coke bottles outside a gentleman's toilet, yeah, it just says missing. And this was on the first roll of film I ever shot. Ever. My family never had a camera, my mother never took a picture. So I was given this camera to learn how to record my paintings. So I went out and made some pictures, and they were all pictures of people, I don't know why. And this was on the first roll, so I thought, photography, it's easy. I always took pictures where I live. I felt more comfortable doing that. So most of the pictures here were within 10 minutes of my house. Yeah, in Liverpool, there's nothing, it's a very flat place, and the whole culture is the family and the social side, yeah, drinking and having a good time, you know, living for the day. So there was no kind of, you wouldn't think really of photographing the landscape on its own without the people, you know, the people are there. When I'm in Ireland, there are no people, so I photograph fields and trees and hedges and clouds and rain. But in Liverpool, you can't ignore the people. That's what the area is about, and so that's what I photograph. Then there'd always be many people who I'd never seen before. I actually knew these girls a bit, yeah. And some people, a friend of mine thought this picture was very cruel. He thought they looked like whores, yeah. He said something worse than that. But for me, I love them. I like them very much. I'd seen them hanging around New Brighton as girls, and to me, it's the end of the night in the club, and there's that feeling about it. But it's made. I like the people in the pictures, more or less, by and large, yeah. If I didn't know this lad here and I made the picture with a flash in his face, he may turn around and punch me in the face. That was always a possibility. Or the girl would turn around and slap me in the face. Once this happened in a very dark area, and I took 2 or 3 pictures of these 2 girls and some guys, and then she turned around and slapped me very hard, and so I left the nightclub with my tail between my legs, yeah, and said, "No, I'm never going back again, this is no good." And then when I saw the print, she had tears running down her face, so she'd been crying, and I couldn't see that, and I made a picture of them. So I shouldn't have, you know. So it's easier if they know you, if you've made a picture of them and given them copies, you know, otherwise, so always it was a dilemma, you know, whether you had a right to take a picture, or at the same time you need to take the picture immediately. For me, the impetus was never, the reason to work was never journalistic. I thought I was an artist, and all these people around me is life, and this was me. I had to deal with it as an artist, so I wanted to make pictures of the situation. I never wanted to document it, you know. I wanted to make interesting pictures, which were true, you know, which were real. What's the word? Authentic, you know. Could I capture this feeling? When you're in this situation, you go to a party in the nightclub, yeah, and you walk down from the party into the actual club, and you walk through all these people, and it's very, very smoky, very hot, you know, it's and very dark, and the music's very loud, and when you look at these nightclub pictures, it's loud music all the time. So I would think, how can I deal with this, you know? And I would try and make some pictures. It was a hard thing to do. It took 2 years, you know, going 2 or 3 nights a week to make 50 pictures. So during the day I might be out on the bus photographing, and then I was going doing a project about a mental hospital. So I'd go on the bus there, it would take me an hour and a half. I'd go across on the ferry boat, across the river, photograph all the way. I'd photograph all the way to the hospital. Then I'd photograph in the hospital for 3 or 4 hours, maybe all day, and then come back on the bus and photograph again. Then maybe get down on the train finally to get home, photograph from the train, and then that night I'd go out to the nightclub and take some pictures. That was the routine. And the next day I may go to the shipyard and make pictures. So I'd go on the bus, I'd photograph on the bus. The bus was these pictures here. There's a whole sequence in the gallery which are all pictures from a bus, and the bus ties all my projects together because I don't drive, so I always went on the bus. But often in a situation you can make 3 or 4 or more pictures in a situation. It's the same situation, but you want the one picture that's interesting as a picture, where something happens that takes it beyond just the subject. Yeah. So it works on a different level. Once you make the picture of what you're interested in, but afterwards you deal with the photograph, and you have these pieces of paper, and then it has to be interesting as a photograph. And if you look at them 5 years later, when you're not involved, still in the subject, in the scene, you read them in a different way. Well, Richard Billingham, I had an exhibition. In fact, one of the only shows I ever had in France was in Paris at Galerie de Jour with Agnès B. And this was with Richard Billingham and Paul Seawright. I think Richard didn't have a clue what my pictures were about. He made pictures of his family, his father, his mother, his brother. Yeah, I mean, Nan Golding's stuff is more her life, isn't it? It's a different kind of life from where I live is a very ordinary place, and these are very ordinary people. Nan Golding's people are more exotic, you know. They're a different kind of people. Yeah, that's if you use a 35mm camera and colour film, and you use a flash and photograph people in this kind of situation, in a love situation, and they're going to look similar. Yeah.